Hi, I'm Dana, and since I mentioned that I'm moving house soon, a lot of people have asked in comments like, well, how do you move house? And at first I was very like, I move house, like I don't really know how to answer that, like I just do the thing, you know? And then that prompted me to think about how much stuff I've not been aware of how to do. And when I've tried to ask about it, people have acted like I'm the world's biggest idiot. And it's so obvious and everyone else knows how to do it. And like I've been straight up laughed at and I really don't want to do that to anyone else. And it's one of those things where I had to like really sit down and like sort of like reflect on moving experiences of my past, because I've moved house a lot. And it's one of those things where I became increasingly aware that if it wasn't something that I'd had to do so often from a fairly early age, I too would probably be like, how does that happen? I don't understand. And it's like that subreddit. Has anyone seen the subreddit where like you can ask like the stupid questions and people give you an actually proper answer? Like, I don't think any question is stupid, and I think that every question deserves an actual answer because it's obviously something someone wants to understand. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I normally do my whole big disclaimer that I'm not an educator or a professional. I don't know what I'm doing and this isn't something you should properly listen to, and I maintain that this isn't necessarily something you should properly listen to, but it is kind of education this time, but for something very simple, and that's how it's going to remain. I'm never going to educate on anything big because I don't know many things. So the first step currently is viewing places that I might want to live in. I have a viewing in like 2 hours that I'm very, very anxious about because my friend that I'm moving with really needs to move. So as long as this place isn't terrible, we need to grab it. And that means paying a deposit that's usually the same amount as the rent. And because of our job situations, aka I don't have one and they're self-employed, we will most likely need to have guarantors and also pay some of the rent up front. I'm very, very lucky in that I currently have a friend who is able to lend me a good chunk of it. I have saved some money up. I'm still extremely worried about how I'm going to afford it. I am absolutely shitting myself. The financial side of moving house is the kind of thing that is always really fucking hard, because you just suddenly need to find a load of money that you don't usually have, and you know, I don't usually have it. I don't know where the fuck I'm meant to find it from. It's terrifying. And it's also really difficult because my friend has asked around to other people that I've moved in with, friends and partners that are in like a very similar situation to us, and they were all in like the very fortunate position to be able to have their parents pay some rent up front and they're paying their parents back. And that's the type of thing where I'm like, I don't judge that. I would do the exact same thing if I could. It's just that even when they were around and my parents didn't have the money to do it, and my dad's dead and I don't speak to my mum, I haven't spoken to her in 2 years, it's not the time to be like, can you pay some rent for me? And again, I don't think she would physically have the money if I did ask, you know? So actually, and especially having pets as well, I've got Oatman here and they have a cat too, so finding somewhere that actually wants to take us on is really difficult. And it's so silly because we can absolutely pay rent and we will pay it on time and stuff, but it's still super tricky and hard and difficult and stressful. So that's the very first step that you have to do. Once you've found a place, I'm going to start packing after this viewing, whether it's the right place or not, because packing is the next step and it's by far the most stressful and just like and it's one of those things that I've done so many times now that I just sort of black out, for it to be entirely honest with you. I put some music on or a TV show or whatever and I just get it done. And again, I'm having to like really think deeply into it because I just that's the thing with a lot of things, is if I know how to do it, I just do it. I think about each step, but I still just do it. I don't know, I don't entirely understand how my own brain works. So for me currently, I'm in a house share. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over in that corner. There's a bunch of VHS tapes down on the floor. All of that corner, that shelf along there into that corner and all that stuff, that'll be the first stuff to get packed because it's the most square. It's books, it's videos, it's DVDs, you know, it's very like easy to pack stuff that I don't have to think about. I just put it in a box and it fits in there and it's all good. Packing things like mugs, plates, my kitchen stuff, clothes, all of that's a bit trickier because you have to actually think about it and make sure stuff doesn't get broken. Every time I've moved, I can't afford all the fancy nice moving stuff that people get, you know, like I've known people that get the bubble wrap and the nice boxes and so on and so forth. I have some boxes there from when my best friend moved a little while ago that I'm going to use, and then they're probably going to need to use them again because they need to move out of the shitty place they moved into. So I will probably pack any breakable stuff with my clothes. I'll just wrap my clothes around it like my clothes are bubble wrap, and then as I unpack I'll slowly find all the stuff that I actually need. I also label each box as I go with the room and what kind of stuff is in there, because it really pisses me off when you're just like, kitchen boxes, I want a cuppa. So like I also like organise some things together. Like I put together like sort of like immediate want boxes, so I will have a box that's got like sugar, tea bags, mugs, spoons, you know, like I have like the stuff that I will want immediately in one box, and I will have it written on like kitchen, immediate box, mugs, spoons, tea bags, you know. And similarly, ones when I pack over there, it'll say like Dana's bedroom, books, Dana's bedroom, miscellaneous trinkets, Dana's bedroom, DVDs, whatever it is in there, I will list it on there. And I more or less just unpack things the way they were in the next place, to be honest with you. I've had very similar belongings for the vast majority of my life, and there's a certain way that I like to have things. The actual moving of stuff is trickier. The first few times I moved, it was with my family, so we had cars. My dad had a car and we would just pack our stuff, and someone, usually my older brother, would be at the new place. We'd put stuff in the car, my dad would drive over, they'd unpack it, we'd be packing stuff, getting it ready while he was there. He'd come back, we'd put it all in the car and just repeat that process until everything was moved. There were a couple of points that we did really big moves where we either had a trailer for the car or hired a van, and that was always really, really fucking stressful. Whenever I've had movers that have actually like physically carried my stuff and helped to move things, stuff's gotten broken, it's never gone well, things are scratched, things are broken. They stress me out, they make me really anxious, they make the whole process more difficult for me than it would be to just do it myself, to be honest with you. I don't entirely understand how people trust movers in any way, and I do not trust them. And like I say, it's because in past experiences they've always broken stuff, that stuff's always gotten lost, stuff has disappeared. I think it's probably, to be fair, because we've had to go for the cheap ones. If you had lots of money to spend on a really good moving company, it'd probably be way easier and you wouldn't have to think about it. Like I've seen in videos that people, I want to say in Japan, but maybe in other places, probably in America too, let's face it, but you can pay people that will come in and pack your stuff as well as moving it, and I wish I could do that. That would make things so much easier, but also very expensive. So the last time I moved, and I moved from the house that I started making videos in into this place, it was a nightmare. I had no spare money, I had no money to like hire a van or anything. I had to move in a block of like a month and a half. It took me like a month and a half to actually move all of my stuff physically. I was bringing stuff over in Ubers. There were a couple of times that I stole shopping trolleys. Like I took them back, I didn't like steal them, but I borrowed shopping trolleys to push my stuff from one house to the next. I had 4 different people with cars that came and helped me move stuff at various times, because I didn't want to have to be like, I need you to be here for the next 2 days driving me back and forth to one single person, you know, it's a lot. So I had multiple different people helping me drive stuff back and forth, and it was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you. And it'll be even more of a nightmare if it happens this time, because I currently know 2 people that have cars, you know, and it's going to massively depend on how much I need to pay in regards to rent and deposits up front. If paying the rent and deposit and whatever else I need to pay to get the actual place puts me into like no savings, no money, then I'm going to have to call people with cars and be like, I need you to move me until my stuff is moved. I'm really sorry. I don't have another option here. I don't know what to do. But I'm hoping that once I've paid everything, Otis has just completely flopped over, so I'm physically like supporting his entire body with my arm. But yeah, I'm really, really hoping that I have £150, £200 maybe left over after I've paid everything I need to pay, because that would be enough to either talk to other people I know that can drive and hire a van and have them drive a van for me so we can do it all in like 2 or 3 trips, or going on Facebook Marketplace and being like, I need a man with a van that only charges this much to move all my stuff from this place to this place. Please show up. Because I had at one point, I booked a man with a van on Facebook and we had all the boxes downstairs ready to move, and he just didn't fucking show up, and I had to go back on Facebook and be like, I need someone now, and it was an absolute nightmare. But yeah, moving is incredibly stressful. For me, it's a whole lot of like, well, I hope this goes to plan, well, I hope this goes the way I intended, and it's a whole lot of things not going to plan and not going the way I intended, and having to phone people and call people up and be like, I'm fucked if you don't help me. I'm really sorry to put this on you. If you can't do it, that's fine. I'm not going to hold any like resentment or bitterness. I've put myself in this situation, but I do need your help if you can, please. And the final step is just like you're in the place, you know, you've got all your boxes, you've got all your furniture, you're putting furniture back together, you're unpacking things into where they go. And I've never understood people that, like, I've known so many people like, oh yeah, I moved in like 2 years ago and I still have this box of stuff. I moved in like this many years ago and I still have this box of stuff that I haven't unpacked. No, I can't do that. Within the first 3 days maybe, I will have everything unpacked in the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I get it to a point, I guess, because I've got boxes under my bed where it's just like, this is what's in there and I'm just going to move them from under my bed here to under the bed in the next place. But it's stuff that I like reach for every couple of months, you know? It's not like just an unpacked box that I intended to unpack that I haven't. So yeah, that's the entire process of moving from as far as I can think to explain it. I'm sure there's probably stuff I've left out and I don't mean to. It just, the whole process of moving stresses me out so much that I got used to it as a child. Like, not even like, we first moved house when I was 8 and then we moved house like nearly every year since. So like from that age, 8's a child, isn't it? From childhood, I've just gotten very, very used to it. And as much as I'm used to it, it still makes me really fucking anxious. I hate change. I hate things being different. I hate my routine having to change. I hate having entire days where my entire purpose is just moving my stuff and not actually doing anything that feels productive, like making videos, making this, doing that. I truly, truly despise the entire experience. And I deeply, deeply hope that I don't know what to do with my arm then, but like, you know, moving into this place I thought was going to be fantastic, and I had like 3 months of feeling safe and comfortable before everything went to shit. And that's the only 3 months I've had in my entire life of feeling safe and comfortable in my home space. So I'm really, really hoping that I just have that for the entire time in the new place. And yeah, I'm fucking terrified. I'm incredibly stressed. I'm really nervous. I'm not having a good time of it all. I very much just disconnect, you know. I exist in my little back of my mind space where I'm just watching My Name is Earl and the Scream movies and whatever else feels like a safe thing that I want to watch. I have that on in the background. That's what my brain is like actually focused on, and my body just does the shit that I need it to, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna go now because I need to edit this before I go to my flat viewing. Wish for me, wish me luck, pray for me, whatever you've got going on, whatever your belief system is. I need all the fucking help that I can get, quite frankly. Send me good energy, send me good vibes, pray. I don't care what you believe or what you've got going on, please use it in my favour. That felt so rude to say, but like really, like, I am scared, I'm struggling. Any sort of good vibe you can send me would be so appreciated. I would love to read in the comments if you have any questions, if there's anything that I didn't approach that you don't understand or wanted me to talk about or whatever. Any moving experiences you guys have had as autistic people, any hints and tricks and tips that you've got that I might be able to use. I've gotten to a degree of efficiency where I'm used to it and I get it done, but I could definitely be doing shit better than getting their stuff broken or lost or whatever else. So tips and tricks would be appreciated, but I'm going to go. So I post videos here on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. So it'd be awesome if you wanted to support me doing that by subscribing and liking videos. I really enjoy that. You can also follow me over on TikTok and Instagram. I don't post so regularly on Instagram, but I do post really fun stuff when I do post, and I post super regularly over on TikTok. So definitely check that out if you're so inclined. I don't know. I've gone awkward because we're getting to the awkward bit where I ask for money. I have a Patreon and I also have a Ko-fi account. They're both entirely optional. You don't have to. It's fine if you don't want to. It's fine if you can't afford to. There is no pressure. There's no anything, you know, like they're just there because people kept asking me if I'd get them, and I was like, I am a poor little bitch. It would be nice if people wanted to donate money to me, you know. So they're there if you want to, but there's no pressure. There's no anything. You don't gotta. It's fine. And whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days when I hopefully know where I'm moving to.